Dan. Dan Uden is our next speaker. Dan's from Kennesaw, Nebraska, natural resources science with a specialization in applied ecology, working with Dr. Craig Allen. Dan got the UNL Othmer Fellowship from 2012 to 2014, which is an award for the recruitment of exceptional scholars pursuing a terminal degree, which doesn't sound good, but terminal degree is good, right? Okay.
I think so.
You say so. He also got the UNL Great Plains Fellowship, or Graduate Fellowship, and that's one that's awarded to doctoral students with research focused on the North American Great Plains. Dan's dissertation topic is past, present, and potential future human influence on wildlife habitats in Nebraska landscapes. His career goal is to conduct research in natural resources science and related fields. It's pretty broad, isn't it? And the title of his talk tonight is Functional Connectivity of Wetland Habitats for Amphibians in Nebraska's Rainwater Basin.
Thank you. Networks and connectivity. From a highway system where roads connect cities to a brain where synapses connect neurons. Networks and connectivity are all around us and important for life. I modeled the functional connectivity of wetlands for amphibians in the Rainwater Basin of Nebraska. Now, within this landscape, individual wetlands and connections between them aggregate to form a larger wetland habitat network that is important for amphibian metapopulations. And connections within this network aren't established via highways or synapses, but instead simply by the ability of amphibians to move back and forth among wetlands, hence the term functional connectivity. So as we began this analysis, began with the very basic question of how far can a frog hop between wetlands? And because there's actually some uncertainty surrounding this question, and because different species are capable of moving different distances in general, we assumed a range of alternative, plausible dispersal distances between 0.5 and 2 kilometers, and then we modeled functional connectivity at each of these. We also assigned every wetland in the habitat network into one of three classifications: reserves, which are natural wetlands set aside for conservation; non-reserves, which are natural wetlands not set aside for conservation; and irrigation reuse pits, which are man-made water bodies constructed for irrigation water storage. And for results, we found that although reserve wetlands likely provide the greatest amphibian habitat of the highest quality, they contributed less to overall connectivity than non-reserve wetlands or irrigation reuse pits. And that's at least partially due to the fact that there's fewer of them on the landscape than wetlands in these other classes. Alternatively, we found that irrigation reuse pits, which are structurally vastly different from a natural wetland and likely provide suboptimal amphibian habitat, these pits contributed more to connectivity than reserve or non-reserve natural wetlands. However, the spatial distribution of these pits on the landscape is more uniform than that of natural wetlands. Natural wetlands tend to occur in tight clusters in the landscape, whereas pits are located in individual agricultural properties, which themselves are fairly uniformly distributed. And this may be allowing larger, longer dispersing species, like the invasive bullfrog, to disperse more readily throughout the network than smaller, shorter dispersing species of conservation concern, like the cricket frog. So in the future, as we look at the landscape and think how it might look, we encourage management to focus on conducting wetland restorations at spatial scales that favor shorter dispersing species like the cricket frog, and to scrutinize pit removal projects according to the effects on functional connectivity. Thank you.